Well, hello, everybody. It is Dennis and Andy with your first movie review for 2025, the new year. Hopefully, next year at this time, we'll be saying it's the first one for 2026, and we'll have at least 50 of them behind us like last year.
That's right. And hey, once again, as they do every year, the first movie of the year, they decide to go ahead and release a horror movie. So, very as usual, not all of them have been good. I think Night Swim was our first one last year.
Was it really?
Yeah. That was our intro to 20.
God, I can't believe that's been a year.
Right?
So we went and saw a movie called The Damned. Dennis, what is The Damned about? Pardon my French.
Well, this one takes place in the 19th century, and there's a widow, and she has to make this impossible choice when early on in the movie, and during an especially cruel winter, they're running out of food. They already know they're going to suffer all season long, but they notice a foreign ship sinks off the coast of their Icelandic fishing village. And do they go help them or not? That is the quandary that they are in.
Oh, that is the quandary. I only recognized one person in this entire movie, and it was the woman that played the widow. Dennis, you said she was from the movie The Order we saw last year.
Yeah, we just saw it literally weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
That was last year. You can't expect me to remember something from last year.
Oh, I got it. But yes, it was her. And I looked at her. I was like, God, I wonder if that's her. It kind of looks like her, but she was Prager's in the other one. And then when they showed her up close, I'm like, oh yeah, that's her. That is definitely her.
All right. So yeah, I mean, it's a small, tight cast. Movie takes place in 1871. You have to pay attention closely to a grave marker to figure out what year, because it's a year after her husband's death. Yeah, I mean, it's basically her, this woman named Helga, and what was it, like six
or seven men to start with.
Yeah, 6 or 7 fishermen to start with. It's freezing, it's cold, it's whatever, and they need to go out and do some fishing, and she looks out into the distance, and between these two big rock structures jutting out of the water, there's a big boat with sails, and it's going down.
Yeah.
And they just can't risk it. They can't risk going out there to try and save whoever could possibly be saved. And
but that's what the debate's about. If we go rescue them and there's 10 or 20 people out there, we don't have enough food for ourselves.
Dude, they don't have enough room on that boat.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, for the winter, even if they shuttled them in, they don't have enough food for themselves, much less 20 people. And the ship sank, so it wasn't like they were going to get a whole lot of food out of them. They were doomed for sure.
Yeah. So, that's just the way it goes. And then later on, she comes across, she's walking on the beach, and she comes across basically a barrel, and they cut the inside, and there's food in it, and it's good. So, and fishing is sucked. So they're like, all right, let's venture out and see if we can find anything else floating out there, basically, is what they decide to do.
Yep. And they wind up going out fishing. They wind up getting this huge catch. They're all excited. They decide it's time to go party. And they wake up the next morning and with a hangover, and all the food's gone. Literally all the food.
You left out a pretty big chunk there. They go out. I thought you were going to pick it up from there. They go out to investigate to see if there's any more stuff floating around the wreckage. And there happens to be a few guys hanging on to one of the rock outcroppings. And they're like, oh, crap, start rowing back. We don't have room, and they're going to tip us and all this. Long story short, they do make it back. They end up having to take a couple guys out that are trying to climb in the boat. They suffer a casualty. But And then it picks up where Dennis said, but then they're walking the beach again, and some of the dead bodies floated up on shore. So, I mean, they're not just going to leave them there.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't either. They built little coffins for them. And,
which, by the way, it was only you and I in the theater. So we could have had a conversation during the whole thing. It was just the two of us. I almost tapped you and said, where'd they get all that wood? And man, they built those quick.
They did build them quick.
They built 6 coffins. They built 6 coffins, and they weren't like shitty looking. Like the wood was, I mean, they weren't like what you see today, obviously, but the wood was cut. Yeah. I was like, where'd those come from?
So I will say this: the movie overall, it's special. It's there's no green screen or very little. It's mainly practical special effects. The scenery, the setting that they're in is absolutely beautiful. Yep. Even the weather stuff that they have going on. But sometimes it's hard to see, and there's a creature, and they warded off the evil spirits. Helga does, and or they try to, and that's kind of the crux of this. These evil spirits are coming to haunt them because they made a bad choice and they let them die. So the spirits are going to get revenge. So, that is the crux of the movie. And there are jump scares in this. Those don't bother me, but there were jump scares. There was some really cool, eerie things where somebody's in the corner and you can kind of see them with the little candlelight or the torchlight.
I mean, the mood, it was moody. It was atmospheric. You can't really, I mean, the acting was fine. She did a great job. The guys, the fishermen, I mean, I'm sure if I IMDb'd it, I might go, oh, I recognize that guy, cleaned up and whatnot.
Most of them, they did not look like actors that they pulled out of Hollywood. No. These all looked very much like Icelandic fishermen.
Yeah, and they did. And honestly, their performances were fine. There was no, they're not like award-winning performances, but they didn't pull me out of the movie at any point going, oh my God, they're just not selling me on this. Yeah. The movie's only an hour and a half long. It's a tight movie. It felt to me a little longer than an hour and a half.
It did for me too.
It did kind of sod along there a little bit. And I was like,
it was slow in parts, but it was, in this case, it isn't just a slow movie. It was purposely slow, right? Because they're trying to build towards a mood and an atmosphere, and it succeeded. But there were a couple of parts where I went, ooh, especially one I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. So I was like, psst. I got back. No, I didn't miss anything. So it was good.
You did not. Yeah. I'll tell you when we're done what you missed in the conversation, but you're fine.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you went to the bathroom before the movie started. It's an hour and a half movie, 2 hours when you roll into the trailers, and you still had to get up. I was so disappointed in you.
Yeah, I sucked down 2 sodas before we walked in because you're like, you got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I went over at the restaurant. Oh yeah, no. It after about 15 minutes into the movie, I'm already like, okay, gotta go. Can I hold it? And then finally, I'm like, well, it's a slow enough movie. I can bolt.
I don't even think you have intestines. I think your stomach just goes right to the bladder because honestly.
Fine. It's fine. I didn't miss nothing. I'm good.
You didn't. All right. Well, so, I mean, there's a nice twist at the end, and it's like at the end. Like, it's like you see you get the twist, and then probably 3 minutes later, the screen goes black and the movie's over.
But they built up to it, and
they did.
I think it was a success.
All right. Well, it's your turn to grade it first.
Yeah.
I went first last week, so go ahead.
I am giving this one a 7.0. It was solid. I enjoyed almost all the aspects of it. Yeah, I think I went into this with really low expectations, being a January horror film. And I was kind of surprised. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I liked everybody in it. And I don't know, you always kind of want to root for the evil spirits. But, you know, it is what it is. I enjoyed the settings. I thought everything was moody. It was a folk horror with a little bit of mystery. It did a good job. I would recommend seeing it. It was a surprise to me.
Yeah, I'm a 6'5", so not too far below.
Yeah.
I was expecting a little bit more out of it from what we saw in the trailer and stuff. I was thinking it was going to go a different way than it did. I was pleasantly surprised though with the twist. I mean, we both had an idea of what was happening, and then when they did the twist, I didn't see that coming. I don't think you did.
The twist?
Yeah, because we had an idea,
Yeah.
but not that.
Yes, I thought something else was going to happen, so I did like it.
Yeah, you and I were on the same page of what we thought was going to happen.
Yes.
And then when they did the reveal, we were like, "Oh, all right." So what do we have with Rotten Tomatoes and all those guys?
Let's see. IMDb as quite a few people have seen it already. They're giving it a 6.2.
Oh, well, you know, right around.
Yep, and we do have scores for Rotten Tomatoes. The critics are giving it an 88%, so they really liked it.
That's because it's an independent flick.
It was, because I didn't recognize any of the companies that were at the beginning, and the audience not so much. The audience is giving it a 47.
Oof. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But I tell you what doesn't get that. KOR-DRATH Volume 2, The Awakening, gets a 10.0 for sure. We are rocking it here, rocking it in the new world. $56,434, 8 backers away from 800 backers. Let's go, guys. If you haven't backed this book yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Dennis and I are heading over to the printer in town that we use for the game module and some and the mini prints and stuff like that on Monday to check out hard copy proofs.
Yeah.
And then greenlight those. And the book is in full production mode now. It is 64 pages of ball-busting barbarian badassery. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, Game of Thrones, Conan, this is the book you want. There's a twist to it, though, that those books just don't have at all. And we can't give it away because it's a twist. Multiple covers to choose from. KOR-DRATH is back with Adriana, and now they're fighting to save her tribe, the Black Eagles tribe, from the evils of Vordoom and the Necronite and Lilith, who want to take over the Shattered Reach. We've got preview pages up that you can check out. A black and white edition of the book right there. The new game Dennis wrote, Demise and Dracamort. It's a whole different story from the book itself. So if you get them both, even if you're not into gaming, you can read this and get a whole different story. Like a short novella. Short story. And the Adriana t-shirt. We are going to be putting the order in for these very soon, probably next week. So if you haven't got a shirt yet, go get it. If you already got the Lilith shirt from the last campaign featuring Bud Roots art, go ahead and get this one, and they'll match. And you could stand, take a picture wearing both and put them next to each other, or just buy this poster featuring Bud Roots art of the two lovely ladies. Comes in 2 different sizes. And lots of great stuff. Irene Strakalski of Fiendish fame did a cover for us. Just great stuff. New parody ad. So, guys, go check it out. Every backer right now is getting the Vordoom playable character card, 7x10. Beautiful art on the front. Playable stats on the back. And we hit 60 grand. Everybody will get a beautiful print featuring Bart Sears and Dan Lawless's cover art to the game module. So, guys, go check this out. Time is running out because we will be closing it in February. So, don't miss out. Check out KOR-DRATH Volume 2, The Awakening. And if you didn't get Volume 1, there is a catch-up tier with a new Budroot cover. Next Wednesday, we will be back with a first-time guest, a rather well-known political cartoonist is going to be joining us. I'm going to leave it there. Let you guys wonder
And
who it
we
could
already
be.
know our Thursday movie.
And our Thursday movie is what?
Wolfman.
Yeah, and it's not the biopic about Wolfman Jack.
Nope.
It's the new Wolfman. We'll see how it goes, and that review will drop on Friday. So until then, have a great weekend. Be safe. And there you go, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.